Hello again, YouTube. Welcome to Night's Arcade. I'm Sleepless Night, and earlier this week, Narc passed 15,000 subscribers. So I firstly wanted to thank you all for your support and to let you know what sort of things are coming up in the near future. As my regular viewers have all known for quite some time, I'm awaiting the arrival of a new baby. And I don't keep bringing that up for no reason. It's not like I'm expecting you all to sit around going, "Oh," in the hope this will somehow telepathically make my kid cuter. The reason I keep mentioning it at the moment is because it will have a direct bearing on the channel in the short term, and I try to keep reminding people of that so that they don't start wondering why their Wednesday video is on Friday this week, or why there was no Saturday video at all, or why Sunday's video sounds like there's someone in the background putting a pterodactyl through a blender. But there's even more to it than that, and some of it relates to questions I keep getting about the channel, so I'm going to try to cover as much as I can regarding changes that are coming up and things that I plan to do but can't do yet, and even a couple of things that are not much more than thoughts in the back of my mind at the moment. The reason this might take a while is because the 1,000 subs between 14,000 and 15,000 took longer to achieve than any since the first 1,000. So I wanted to answer some things in real detail to let you know I really, genuinely value your support, and I want the most dedicated of my viewers to know we're only just getting started. I actually even thought about making this into several very short videos, but honestly, if I start doing that, this will never end. So let's just power through this, and I'll give you a bathroom break in the middle. Thing 1. E3 is coming up, and last year I stayed up through the night for 3 days straight, napping during the day to get a summary of all the news coming out of E3 every single day. I'm sure I don't need to tell you I won't be able to do that this year, because if I'm up all night, it will be crying into my pillow about why the thing in the corner just won't go to sleep. I know what I'm in for, I've done it before. However, I'm hoping to get some E3 coverage out. I just don't know what form that will take, if it happens at all. But if you follow me on Twitter, I'm sure I'll be talking about developments over there as they come in. Thing 2. Game reviews. I know that most of my subscribers subscribed for my game reviews, and there have been precious few of them. So here it is. I do 2 types of reviews, and only one of them has review in the title. This is firstly because I have strong opinions on what a review should be, and secondly because I recently polled people on Twitter as to whether or not I should change the name to Early Reviews. The results of the poll were very clearly that I should not. So thank you to Daniel Carapa, Imperium Gaming, Mike Bronner, Imperfectly Victoria, Little Bob, and anyone else who gave more detailed feedback about why they thought not. So the first type of review is called, and will apparently continue to be called, First Impressions. These are the things that many magazines and other reviewers call reviews. I make these when I have played fewer than 10 hours in a game, and they are intended to very clearly say, here's what I think so far, but maybe it'll get better or worse. You can call that a review if you like, but I don't want to. The other type of review I do is called an ultimate review and requires game completion at an absolute minimum, but I usually prefer to have logged at least 60 in-game hours before I allow myself to make one. These are not simply my opinion, although they are obviously my opinion. I try to tell you what you can expect from the game in the long run and how it holds up after a lot of play. So far, I have made precisely 2 of these reviews, but I am currently working on Ultimate Reviews 3, 4, and 5. To give you an example of how much work goes into an Ultimate Review, I am currently scraping every 20 or 30 minutes I can to reach Pirate Legend in Sea of Thieves. Kazura-san, who most of you will know as my regular collaborator in Sidekicks, has tried to talk me down off this particular ledge quite a few times, saying, dude, you've been playing it on and off for a year. You really don't need to be Pirate Legend to give a well-rounded opinion on this game. But I disagree. Without reaching Pirate Legend, there are parts of Sea of Thieves I simply can't show you. And how could I ever describe it as an ultimate review if there are parts I haven't experienced? So, there are many more ultimate reviews coming up, and there'll be a lot more first impressions coming up, but the ultimate reviews take a lot of time, so my apologies for that. Thing 3. I have been, for quite a while now, liaising back and forth with a first-time game developer about his passion project, and it is starting to look really good. I get messages from time to time from someone trying to get me to push their Steam game, but most of them don't really interest me enough to put time aside for them. This chap, however, is really serious about this. He has put a lot of time and effort into it, and I'm honestly very excited to be able to share some more concrete details about it very soon, so watch this space. Thing 4. The more time I spend doing this, the more I realise where my happy places are. No giggling at the back. What I mean by that is, first of all, I'm learning to stick with playthroughs of games I really enjoy rather than games I think I should be playing, but mainly that I am at heart, and have been ever since I was a little kid, a storyteller. That is what I do. It's the thing I can't seem to avoid being. Well, that and being an irritating loudmouth. It's why I write books and short stories. It's why I narrate audiobooks for a living. And what it means for the channel is that you may start to see more story-based stuff on here. So more things like Sidekicks and Butch Dumas, more characters being brought into my playthroughs, and so on. So, thing 5. Let's talk about the Sidekicks and Butch Dumas. I have been recording more Butch Dumas stuff, but it's not exactly linear. What I mean by that is that I have rough ideas for the next 3 Butch Dumas videos, but they all have a slightly different tone, and well, Butch has a certain outfit, he has a certain horse, he has a very specific way of behaving, or in his case misbehaving quite badly, so the things that happen to Butch can't happen organically in the course of my regular Red Dead Redemption playthroughs. I have to put time aside to be Butch Dumas, and sometimes nothing much happens when I do. And sometimes, when it does, that event belongs more to one of those videos than it does to another. So when I have enough footage for the first video, you'll get one. But I am working on it. Sidekicks. We haven't recorded any Sidekick stuff for weeks now, but that's not a bad thing, because the reason we've stopped recording for the time being is because I already have enough footage for the next 4 Sidekicks videos. But believe it or not, they take a long time to make. It might not seem like it, but for each Sidekick video, I have audio to sort from 4 different sources, and the way I make Sidekicks videos is that Kazura-san and myself play together as normal, and I just record everything we do, sometimes for weeks, at the end of which I have anywhere between 10 and 20 hours, I guess about 18 is the most I've done so far, of video to sort through, and as much audio from the game, from Kazura-san, and then from my own mic. Then I have to organise it into some sort of narrative and write a script for the narrator. I absolutely love making these story-based videos, from Butch Dumas to Sidekicks, little fun one-offs like the Marston and Mount 70s cop show thing I did recently, and a couple of other characters I have planned. There are very few things in life that give me the same high as I get from editing a narrative-based video where everything comes together really well. So there will be a lot more of that sort of thing, but they take a lot more time than a regular Let's Play, so there obviously can't be as many of them. Right, now it's time for that bathroom break I promised you. I'll put a little music on, but not for long because, you know, this is YouTube, and the pause button is right there. Right, everybody relieved themselves and got themselves refreshments. Jolly good. Thing 6, Patreon. I have had a few questions about Patreon over quite a few months. Do I have a Patreon account? Where can I find it? How many tiers are there? When are there going to be more tiers? So, to answer those questions, yes, I have a Patreon account. You can find the link in the corner of my channel banner and in the description of every video I post. There is currently only one tier. And the last question has to do once again with my impending little squishy pink arrival. I do have plans to put more tiers on Patreon. I even have a good idea what they are, but I don't want to promise something I can't deliver with the baby on the way. So I will update Patreon once my hours become a bit more regular and predictable again. Those tiers, for anyone interested, will be something like this. Tier 1, a mention on the channel, possibly a credit roll at a future time. Tier 2, early access to NARC videos when available. Sometimes I manage to get a video up a few days early. Sometimes I don't get it up until an hour before. Sometimes it's late. But when it is early, patrons at Tier 2 or above will have access to it. Tier 3. Patreon exclusive videos/posts of some sort. Now this is the difficult one because I'm a bit scatterbrained, but it would probably be a special video or a written post maybe once a month or something available only to patrons. At Tier 4, I will record a personalised message with some obvious limitations on offensive content up to 1 minute long for use as an answer phone message, for example, or, whatever you want to use it for. At each one of these tiers, you will also, of course, get all the tiers below. The final tier, Tier 5, is the one I'm most excited about. At Tier 5, I will purchase a game of that patron's choice, as long as it is available for my chosen platform, and record gameplay for one episode dedicated to that patron. And, of course, you'll get all the benefits of the tiers below. So those are my ideas so far for Patreon later on in the year, but at the moment only the first level is available. Thing 7. You guys. You have all been amazing, and I want to thank all of you for your support, especially those who watch and comment regularly. But I also want to let you know once again that I read all comments, and I hear all suggestions. It isn't always possible or always desirable to take your suggestions on board, especially those helpful suggestions to crawl up my own ass and die, but there are, thankfully, very few of those, and there are sometimes really useful suggestions in there. Responding to your comments obviously takes a lot longer than reading them, but I will continue to try responding for as long as I can, even if there is sometimes a big break for, reasons. Thing 8. Will I ever stream? Yes. Eventually. It is, and always has been, my plan to stream gameplay at some point. There are several reasons I don't do that just yet. One is simply my own insecurity. It seems like the most successful streamers are face cammers. And although you can see my ugly mug at any time by heading over to my other channel where I do a weekly vlog, I'm hesitant to do it with a gaming audience because gamers are more inclined to judge you by your age, and I'm in my 40s now. Another reason I don't stream just yet, and at the moment have no idea how or when that would happen, is the time of day that my gaming necessarily has to happen, usually after midnight before I even start recording. They don't call me Sleepless Night for nothing, This time of day would exclude most of my European viewers from watching my stream, so I need to think about that a lot before I do it. Another reason is just finding the time to learn my way around streaming and finding the money for the little bits of equipment that I still would need to do so. And final things. The future of Knights Arcade. I am in this thing for the long haul. This is not a fly-by-night thing I'm doing here. Online video, whether that be YouTube or elsewhere, with my gaming channel and with others, is a big part of my life. I've been doing this for almost 12 years, and I hope it will be a big part of my future. I have a big, scary, long-term goal with online video, and I'm going to keep going until old age, debilitating disease, or the destruction of the internet by titanium fire ants from beyond the moon stop me from doing so. I am not the world's most capable person. I'm fairly good with tools. I'm not a bad writer, I'm an okay dad, and I'm a fairly good video editor. But if there's one thing I have never ever had to look elsewhere for, that's ideas. Those I got a million of, and a dozen more every day. The only problem I have with ideas is that they get in the way of my thinking, my everyday concentration. I could live for 1,000 years and never have enough time to make all my ideas a reality, and that's just the ones I already have. If you've ever seen a writer asked, "Where do you get your ideas?" the reason they sigh or bury their head in their hands before answering this question is that they don't usually know. Ideas come from everywhere, and for most writers they come all the time, whether they want them to or not. I'll wager most writers became writers because they couldn't stop having ideas and they wanted to share them. That's certainly why I started writing. So when I tell you I don't have enough time, you can take that to the bank. The only thing that slows me down is time, ironically enough. I spend almost all my spare time focusing on this channel. And the only reason I didn't say all my spare time is because I occasionally have to go outside and buy groceries or say hello to my wife and children. On Friday, Saturday and Sunday nights, when everyone else is asleep, I play video games. For me, this is the only time I get to just play video games. And even then, I am often leveling in some games so that when the next week comes, I can show you something I have yet to unlock. Or I'm recording my gameplay with Kazura-san so that I can make Sidekicks videos. If I'm not playing or recording myself playing, I'm writing narration for a video, or I'm trying to learn new things that will improve my videos and grow my audience. What's the best way to approach streaming? How do I get better at using social media so that I can work out why I have 15,000 YouTube subscribers but only 150 Twitter followers after the same amount of time? What in the wide world is Discord actually for? Why do I have one, and when should I use it? I'm sure I'll be absolutely bombarded with comments explaining all that to me once that's out there, but there we go. Moving on, I'm also researching games for reviews, tweaking audio files, spending hours on a thumbnail only to bin it when I have a better idea, and the list goes on and on. I also write books, the first of which I am trying to drum up interest in through my other channel. It's a humorous fantasy about a man who escapes from the afterlife, which I wrote 12 years ago, and which you can find the first 1,000 words of pinned to my blog at the link in the description. Once I think I have enough readers for the book, I will release the entire thing online for free. Oh yeah, I also write a blog, but honestly, I haven't really had the time to do anything with it for about a year now. I have thought about just occasionally inviting a viewer to play with me in a game, and I'd love to do that, but there are so many pitfalls and possible hurdles to overcome before I do that. It is quite a way down my to-do list at the moment. I don't share all this with you to make you feel pity for me. Why would I? Don't pity me, I absolutely love this job. I'm sharing it as a better, more detailed answer to you than "sorry I can't make more content." I have so many more things I would like to do, but time is the one thing I can't earn more of. So if I haven't made the content you want, or oftentimes the content I want, it's just because I'm going as fast as I can. I thank you very, very much for your extraordinary patience, but until next time, from Night's Arcade, this is Sleepless Night, saying nighty-night.